Call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Cruz.
Here.
Councilman McDaniel.
Present.
Councilman Horn.
Present.
Councilman Colt.
Here.
Councilman Cooper.
Here.
Councilman Gregory.
Present.
Mayor Moore Wolf.
Present.
7 present and absent.
Please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. We begin our meetings with appearance of citizens. Our policy relative to appearance of citizens is as follows. A 30-minute time period is provided for citizens to appear and express their views before the City Council. Each citizen speaking will be limited to one appearance of up to 3 minutes. No immediate response will be given by City Council or City staff members. Citizens are to give their documents, if any, to the police officer for distribution to the Council. When the Mayor determines that all persons wishing to speak in accordance with this policy have done so, members of the City Council and key staff may make comments. Would anyone like to appear before Council tonight? If so, please approach the podium.
I have something to distribute. Is the police officer here? Good evening. I'm Diane Spaniel. I'm a Decatur citizen, and I'm a Decatur citizen who's confused about the drought. As you can see, we've passed out the hydrological cycle, and this comes from the National Drought Mitigation Center. So where are we in Decatur? Are we at awareness, concern, panic? Are we getting rain? Are we at apathy, or are we at drought itself? You can read there, and you can also see that there are a couple links available there to the Inter website. They have some free documents there, such as the Guide to Drought Planning and some worksheets. Those cost you nothing. You don't have to pay $50,000 for those. They're available for free. So I'm confused about the drought. We vote to give tax money to a $1 billion company to use 3 to 8 million gallons daily of water. But we pay to buy more water as we have to dig more wells and measure what was already bought. We don't even know how deep those wells are. We pay for consultation on drought. We pay because you voted not to have a study session on the Broadwing project.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Jung-Ah Kim. I'm an adjunct associate professor of music at Millikan University and the organist at First Presbyterian Church here in Decatur. My husband, Dr. Stephen Freck, retired from teaching English at Millikan University for 20 years, and he's now the educational leader at Unity Christian School. We have been homeowners in the West End since 2008 and moved to our current home in 2016. Starting around 2020, we noticed that the tenants in the rental property next door kept changing and staying for shorter periods of time. We also noticed an increasing amount of garbage spilling over the bins and remaining on the ground for weeks on ends, attracting raccoons and flies. My husband attempted to speak to one of the tenants and was told, "I don't get paid to take out the trash." I contacted the owner, who acknowledged that she received my message but did nothing to fix the situation. Between March 1, 2023 And February 2, 2026, my husband and I made at least 7 reports to the city. None of these reports resulted in any lasting improvements. The 6 photos I brought tonight are just a sample of what we have been dealing with for the past 6 years. The first photo was taken on December 29, 2020, and that's the view from my son's bedroom. The last photo was taken 6 days ago. I would like to have on record that this is not simply an issue of unsightly debris. It is a health and sanitation hazard. The property owner was summoned to court in 2024 and 2025, only to have her fines of $150 waived each time. I'm here today to inform the City Council that the current process is not working and to respectfully ask that City Codes 49 and 56 be revised as follows. Shorten the response time for both owner and the city from 72 hours to 48 hours. Charge first-time offenders a minimum fine of $200 once the matter reaches court. Charge repeat offenders a minimum fine of $500 for each occurrence thereafter. Absentee landlords and irresponsible tenants should not be allowed to ruin neighborhoods. The decline of this particular rental property is emblematic of many other neighborhoods in the city and one major reason why families like ours choose to move away. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, everyone.
Could you give us your name, please?
My name is Gary Jones. Hello, everybody. I like to address the problem with in our neighborhood. It's been heavy dumping in the alleys and all up through there where I live. And all of a sudden, I got a letter saying that I got a fine for somebody else's criminal act. Well, $200 something, for somebody else's dumping. I mean, I think that's something need to be addressed, or some cameras in the alleys, or something to that nature to maybe slow some of this dumping and stuff down. Because, I mean, if it's not mine, so I have my garbage service is in the front, so the garbage bags are in the back. And they don't pick garbage up in the alleys where I live anymore. And so something to that nature got to be done, because I've been in my residence for 30 years, and I have never got nothing like this, So that's all. I mean, and they finding me for somebody else's criminal act. So, and my garbage can is in the front. So I think that need to be addressed or something,
Can you give us an address or neighborhood?
2400 block of East Wood Street. It's been a whole lot of junk. A lot of guys do a lot of junking and stuff. Then when they clean somebody's yard up or their basement or something, they dump the stuff in the alley. And that's heavy over in that area. And so they giving me, this is where I got garbage service with Waste Management, so I have no reason to put no garbage in my alley, because I have garbage service.
Give responses after everybody's done
okay.
speaking. Sorry.
Thank you.
Greetings all, Mayor Wolf and council members. My name is Shaquila Smith, and I am here tonight as a parent and a public administrator, as well as an invested community member. I want to speak in support of the amended agreement and additional funding needed to complete the child care facility at 1170 Orchard Street. This project has been in progress for nearly 3 years, with the shared goal of restoring a licensed child care center that supports working families and strengthens our local community, as well as our local economy. The city initially authorized for the $100,000 with the understanding that final costs would be determined through formal assessments and contractor bids. Those bids have now come in at approximately $524,000, which remain below earlier projected estimates, around $550,000. This shows that the current request is not unexpected, but rather the final step needed to complete the work. At the time when our school district is forecasting declining enrollment and when workforce stability depends on access and reliable childcare, completing this facility is an investment in Decatur's future. Childcare enables parents to work, employers to retain staff, and for communities to grow. The city has already made a significant investment in this project. Approving the amended agreement allows for that investment to have a chance to fulfill its purpose and to bring this facility into operation for the families who need it. I respectfully encourage each council member to support this amendment and help bring this long-standing project to completion. Thank you for your time and for your continued service to our community. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Hello, thank you guys for your time again tonight. My name is Alan Wade. After the last city council meeting with the vote for Broadwing, the partnership, I had a lot of questions that were left unanswered. So I sent an email to every city council member, the city manager, and the mayor. I understand it was a lot of questions. It was about 20 questions. But I feel like if you know the answers to those questions, they should be fairly straightforward to answer. And if you don't know the answer to those questions, I asked them to reflect on the decision to not table the vote and to question if they were truly prepared to vote for it. To those emails, I got a response from 2 council members and from the mayor. I would like to thank the 3 of you for your responses. And Mayor Moorwolf, I appreciate your offering to meet and discuss these questions a little bit further. From those responses, I still have some questions to be answered, and I have that meeting set up, so I hope to have more questions answered. To the other 5 individuals, I still hope to receive a response and to get even more answers on some of those questions. Tonight, I'm going to ask a couple of those questions that I think are pretty important questions that I have yet to get answers on. One of them is that when construction is completed, is the plant going to be operating at 100% capacity immediately? Is Google going to have, because they are planning on taking a large portion of it, are they going to have a plant or whatever it is, a facility, ready to operate at full capacity when the Broadwing project is complete? Or is the power plant going to be operating at a lower percentage to meet the necessary demands? I know there was a lot of talk about projections on revenue to the city from this, and I think that one right there is a big determining factor, and I don't know if that was taken into account. One of the other things is on the topic of the drought, and I know multiple other people have talked about it. I know it was said that drought conditions were taken into account when looking at water usage. My question is, was this level of drought taken into account? It's going to take something that hasn't happened in a century to come out of this drought right now. And if this happens again, once the Broadwing project is complete, are those demands going to be able to be met? And if they aren't, are the citizens going to be cut out first, or is it going to be Broadwing? Thank you
I'm
for your
sorry.
time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good evening, Council and Mayor Wolf. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I have some documents that I want to go ahead and pass around. My name is Cherry Johnson. I know you guys have seen me for the last 3 years, but I want to pass around these documents to Council before you guys talk about tonight's agenda topic. I did have short notice, but I still was able to get some things together. I also have the original agreement, the redlined agreement, that stated the original budget for this project was $550,000. The number was changed somewhere along contract negotiations because they felt that the bids were inflated and that they would come in under the 550, so it was changed. So I want to send around the redlined version that shows the original contract was for 550. It's not a new number. It's not a new projection. And we have the report from AEX, the architectural company that you guys used, that gave a number of $505,000 before contingencies. I prepared a letter. I sent that letter around, but I kind of want to speak from the heart as the owner of Love Learning and Laughter Daycare, as a community member, and as a parent. When this plan came to start, my daughter over there was in my womb. When you guys presented this project to me, she was 2 years old. She was getting ready to be 6 years old, so we're far into the game. I'm seeing the impact of the community. I'm seeing the decline in the education system around here, and this plan checks all the boxes for our workforce initiatives, our educational goals for our community, and for our economic development. I sit here time and time again, and I see major corporations come before you that present job opportunities, but most of those jobs will be outsourced. Most of those jobs will be bringing people into the community to work, but we need to first work on the inside out. So this is a project that is locally owned. This project, these jobs are local, and the revenue will stay local, and that's the number one thing. This is not just a child care project. This is a workforce and economic development initiative. Every time the number has moved for council, as your number has increased as time goes on and inflation goes on, the economic impact and cost on Love Learning and Laughter is increasing as well. So I don't want you guys to think that this number keeps raising on you and you alone. Every time the number raises, my commitment raises as well from a company standpoint. I want to let you guys know that as an invested community member, I feel that we need to work proactively. The way we have been doing things hasn't been working the best, and we have to think outside the box for our community. If we want to bring change, we have to be the pioneers of change, and our entire state is watching. Let's do the right thing. Thank you, and have a great night.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Good evening. My name is James McFarland, and I'm the president of the NAACP here in Decatur, Illinois. But I'm not speaking from that perspective. I'm speaking as a concerned citizen, and I'm speaking as a resident and a taxpayer of this community who cares and loves about this community just as much as you all do. Mayor Julie Wolf, Councilman City Manager Hahn, and the council members, I hope you're having a great day. I'm here today to talk about the Love, Learning, and Laugh Daycare at 1170 Orchard Street. This daycare is essential to turn the economic corner for Decatur's growth. I believe that we know that we've set now through our third city manager, and this project has not yet come to fruition. This council said they approved this daycare. This council said Ms. Johnson was the right one for this daycare. This council voted to start this daycare. This council now needs to finish what they started. I believe that we're all in this together and that all you are men and women of integrity and stand by your word. I'm asking you to continue to look into what it takes to finish this daycare, not just a future project, but give it a finish date. My date I came up with is May 1st. That might not line up with your budget, but that's the day I would like to see this done. It'll be a perfect time to see this daycare started. If Decatur does not have a backup plan, and if this doesn't work, do you have a backup plan? If we're going to let this fall, if we're not going to finish this out, does Decatur have a backup plan? If Decatur does not have a backup plan, well, let's finish what we started together. Share with us if there is a backup plan, and share with us if there's other contingencies that need to be finished by a great date of May 1st, 2026. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. McFarland.
Hello. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and members of the community. My name is Brittany Larson, Director of Stakeholder Engagement at ADM. I'm not only a resident of Decatur, but I work directly with landowners and community members here in Decatur as part of ADM's carbon dioxide and storage operations. I'm here tonight to talk briefly about our upcoming CCS Learning Day events at the National Sequestration Education Center at Richland Community College. I know a few of you have attended in the past, but I wanted to personally encourage you all to attend if you are able. There has been a lot of conversation recently about carbon dioxide and storage in our community. We understand that people want clear and factual information about how this system works and how it is regulated. As with many technical subjects, some conversations circulating publicly can benefit from additional context and clarification. That's exactly why we started hosting the Learning Days. Learning Day is an opportunity for community members to learn about the geology, understand how the permitting framework works, review how monitoring systems operate, hear more about the work we have been doing with local first responders, and speak directly with technical and third-party experts. We have an event tomorrow, February 18th, and another on March 26th. You can go to adm.com/CCS Learning Day to get more information and to sign up for a 30-minute time slot. If you are not able to attend, we also have extensive information about CCS available on our website, www.adm.com/CCS. And we are also happy to talk to you directly at any time. Our goal is education. We want people to understand the science behind carbon capture and storage for themselves, ask questions directly, and learn how it works, why it's important, and why we are confident in this technology. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you there.
Thank you, Ms. Larson. Does anyone else wish to appear before council tonight? Does anyone on council have a response to any of the folks who spoke tonight? Dr. Horn?
And just a response to Professor Kim, I think the city needs to find new ways to address some of these long-standing issues and repeat offenders. We had Mr. Jones come and show us a receipt for a 72-hour cleanup of $256, and that wasn't even his garbage, but it was just placed in his property. And in that receipt, it talks about what the fine will be if the city places a lien on that property. And yet Professor Kim comes and says that she's filed 7 complaints with the city in 6 years, and it does not seem like we've made the progress that we need to make. And the challenge is that if these long-standing issues persist, at some point in time, the residents are just going to stop coming and complaining to the city, and instead they're just going to leave, right? And so we have to find a way to look at our city codes and to figure out ways that these repeat offenders just are stopped.
Councilman McDaniel?
That's what I was going to bring up. We need to look at what we charge in fines, if their state sets a limit to what we can charge. But as I've mentioned many times, as we're talking about cleaning up the neighborhoods and tearing down houses, there's other things that we need to do to make our community look better, whether it's people parking their cars and trucks in the front yard and trash all over. So there's a lot of things that we need to look at. We're looking at changing some of our zoning, and we need to look at, I agree with Councilman Horn, that we need to really look at that, because when I drive around the city, I see lots of problems of that. So both the trucks and cars in the yards, and I've been harping on that for the last 3 city managers, and on the trash and that. But again, it's a responsibility, whether you're a renter or whatever, that you're responsible under your contract to keep the property in good shape. So we need to get, I know several years ago when Billy Ty was here, I was on the committee to meet with the rental owners and things like that. So we need to look at some things and get this under control. And as far as the garbage in the back, this has been a problem for years that the city has been fighting. I wish I had an answer for that, but it's been going on for years and that. And so anyway.
I did see Ms. Elzey make contact with Mr. Jones, so hopefully you can direct him to get some help. So, other comments? Okay, moving on to approval of minutes.
Approval of minutes of February 2nd, 2026 City Council meeting. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Cruz.
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel.
Aye.
Councilman Horn.
Aye.
Councilman Culp.
Aye.
Councilman Cooper.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory.
Aye.
Mayor Moore-Wolf.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays.
Any unfinished business?
None.
In new business, item 1, resolution authorizing agreement amendment between the City of Decatur and Love Learning and Laughter Daycare, LLC.
Motion that the resolution do pass and be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Hahn.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This item is amending the original agreement that was approved by Council on October 20th of 2025. In that original agreement, it stated that any improvements were only up to a maximum of $400,000, and any amount needed above that threshold would be the responsibility of Love Learning and Laughter Daycare. We did get the bid specifications, contractor's bids back, and it exceeded the $400,000 by $124,877, putting the total for the city portion at a total of $524,877 to complete those items outlined. And so due to that overage, it was requested that we bring this back for consideration if council had a desire to increase that $400,000 to add in that additional 124.
And I apologize for not asking this beforehand today. I had intended to. Do you have the full amount of the investment the city has put into this building to date?
It's going to be, with the additional of the 400,000, put us at about 1.5 million total.
Okay. Councilman Cooper, you had requested that this item be placed on the agenda. We were happy to oblige. Thought perhaps you would have a statement or something you'd like to say regarding.
Thank you, Mayor. Make it kind of short. I think initially when the project first came out three and a half years ago, and the figure that was gave at that time as the estimate of what the project would cost to do the improvements was, I believe, a little over about $550,000. Then somewhere along the line, it was reduced down to $400,000. But after the bids come in, as we all have seen, it appears pretty clearly that the 550 was a pretty solid estimate, even with the increase of materials and labor and all that has gone up in 2 years. But the bids still came in under that initial 550,000. And with the comments that was made from the citizens tonight, I think it's clear that this is a project that's definitely needed for our community. When we approved it, I think we knew that at that time that this was a needed project to help working families and mothers, single or married, being able to work and have a safe place for their kids to be at night, to be at while they were at work, as well as early educational training to the amount of kids that would be in the daycare center if it was full to capacity, as far as teaching them skills, which obviously by the report of the School District 61's recent report that I'm sure many of you have seen or heard about, with our kids' reading levels being extremely low. Obviously, this is an opportunity to get some early training reading to kids prior to them going into kindergarten. So I think long range is a win-win for our city. It's a win-win for the parents. It's a safe place for parents to be, for the kids to be while the parents were at work. Many parents, and we probably all know, my wife was a DCFS worker, so I kind of got a inside stance on this, that many parents, they went to work, but they still left the kids at home unsupervised because they just had to go to work, which was very unsafe conditions. So, and many of those families lost kids to DCFS based on those reasons. So I think it's a way for us to help all around with safety of kids and having a safe place for kids to be and grow. And also, it's my understanding that this daycare center would also be working with the families, which many of the mothers are kids themselves, so not many of them is kids raising kids, and they still need ongoing training and parenting training and all that. And I think this daycare center was going to also provide those type of things to the parents. So with that, I think it's a worthwhile investment for us to add the additional $107,000 to bring it up to meet all the cost of the bids. Many times, on a lot of other projects, bids come in well over what the anticipated bids were, and we've on many occasions we have approved those amendments to those contracts. And I think that we should definitely do this in this situation with it's going to help families and kids. So I would ask that, I hope that the majority of the council will support this small amendment.
I think we can all agree that this is a needed facility for the community, but my concern is when this was first brought to council, we were told the investment other than purchasing the property was going to be minimal. We were told it probably needed some paint and some new flooring, but it was a turnkey operation, which wasn't the case. And so staff kept many other people before, our current staff kept coming back to council saying, well, we didn't get this right, et cetera, and at least twice, council has said, we will put this much more in, but no more. And that led to further problems. So my concern is that we've put almost $1.5 million into a project that I think we thought was going to be around $200,000 total. I might be a little bit off on that number, but so I have a lot of concerns about that. And to your point, Councilman, about, yes, we do get overruns on projects at the library and others, but those are publicly owned operations. The library is the people's library. This is a private business. What hopefully is a for-profit business because we want her to be very successful. But I just have concerns in that we negotiated that we said $400,000, and the agreement was, yes, if it goes over $400,000, then the owner was going to pick up the additional tab. So I have concerns about being asked to put in another $124,000. But open it up to discussion. Other council members? Dr. Horn.
I concur with my colleague, Councilman Cooper. Now, it's just a couple of weeks ago that Decatur Public Schools released a study that, among other things, indicated a 7% enrollment decrease over the next 10 years, but also urged that the city and school district work together on issues such as employment. And if you think of what the two major barriers to employment are, they are transportation, and the city of Decatur is to be commended for its microtransit program that it's launched. And the other one is childcare. And the city of Decatur, about 3 years ago, made a commitment to say we're going to support childcare in the urban core. And it was only 2 or 3 weeks ago that through a Herald and Review article that we learned that one of the neighborhoods in the city of Decatur has the highest poverty rate in the state of Illinois at 40%, right? The poverty rate of the city as a whole is approximately 20%. The childhood poverty rate is approximately 30%, and about 40% of people in Macon County are living paycheck to paycheck. And so how are we going to address these issues if we don't have the opportunities for transportation, which we now do, and the opportunities for childcare, which this council has made a commitment to do something about it, and to do something about it in an area of the city where unemployment rates are traditionally higher than other parts of the city. And so the other thing we need to keep in mind is this is childcare. This is for children. This is for the future of the city of Decatur. And there, to Mr. McFarland's point, there is no backup plan. So if we vote no to this, what is our backup plan? See if another entity will own it, or just wait till it deteriorates and we have to demolish it and pay over $1 million to demolish it. And so from my perspective, this is absolutely the type of investment that we need in the city of Decatur. And I would remind my colleagues that it was our last meeting where we decided to approve additional funding so that Dove only had to pay $10 for a building that originally they were going to have to pay over $100,000. So we can find a way. And it was just a couple of meetings back where we approved having a $4.5 million fund in the city for strategic investments. And I would argue that this is absolutely a strategic investment that we must do.
Other comments from council? Mr. Culp?
I share the same concerns and statements as Councilman Horn and Cooper. However, we kept evolving with the bids. We kept evolving with the needs of the project because we all believed in it. And I still believe there's a need. However, this last agreement we had was $400,000 was the line. Anything above that line would come out of Love Laughter Development. And they had 60 days to respond to that. And we drew a line and waiting for them to respond because the line was drawn because we put so much into this. We have so much belief in this need. We all do. We all share that. But the line in the sand was drawn, and it needs. We have a very tight budget. We've asked our department heads to come up and cut where they can, and we're still putting more money into a private entity. Yes, it'll help us here locally. We all agree on that. There's no dispute about that. But at what point do we draw the line in the sand? I believe that was done in the last vote.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Why was the amount changed from the $500,000 to the $400,000? And why was the contract signed before the bids were finalized?
The change of the original was during the negotiations between the city and Love Learning and Laughter. So that was a number where when we got to the 400,000, it seemed like we could get consensus that there was an appetite to continue with that amount of investment. And there was also an agreement, and that was what was approved with the business owner, that anything over that 400,000 was understood to be they were willing to take on that responsibility if those bids came in over that 400,000.
Other comments? Mr. McDaniel?
Mayor, I remember in our discussions on this, which occur, it's needed, but the developer needed to find other community organizations to help. I know we stress that. To be on hand, because if it's needed, have you been able to find any other partners?
Well, it's not customary, but we would allow you to come back to answer the councilman's question.
I presented financial documents at at our previous meeting before October 20th that stated that I would be able to finish my Exhibit B of the project. I was told that the $400,000 was a safe number for you guys, that they did not project that they would need the 550, and that's why the number was taken down to 400 to make council more comfortable. But I also was assured that if at any time the numbers came over 400,000, a council member could request to add the 150 back if needed. But they told me that they felt that the bids, or excuse me, the projections from AEX were slightly inflated, and that's why the number was agreed upon being moved down to 550 from 400 to 400.
Ms.
But
Johnson,
I do have the financial means. I did agree that anything that went over the 400,000, but that's because I was assured that it would not go over the 400,000 as to why we agreed to move the number.
You're not answering my question. Have you got any other partners, community partners,
I
that believe in the project?
Community partners do believe in the project, and they are providing resources for a complete building. I have the financial means, if necessary, to complete the project. The community partners will be bringing resources for the families.
I was going to ask you because I felt I remembered you saying you were confident that you had the financing.
Yeah,
If
the
it would go over
finances-
the 400.
The community partners were never brought into play to invest in the construction of this project. The community partners were brought in to provide resources for the families and the things for family care outside of child care. So it was never, the community partners were never supposed to bring dollar amounts to this project.
Any other questions for Ms. Johnson? Thank you. Other comments or questions? Councilman Cooper?
Yes. I'm just to say one last time that I really think this is the worthwhile project, and I really think that the initial estimates were correct and right on, and they didn't come, and they came back under the initial estimates, and I think that should be taken into consideration. Had we stayed with that initial number, we wouldn't be here today talking about an amendment, and so I think we should own up to that, and we can't change what happened in the past. I know the administration has changed. Many people in the economic development has changed, and but we are talking about 3.5 years later, and I don't think it's well worthwhile. We keep moving. Again, like someone said, if there was the plan B, if we don't have that, are we going to spend $1 million to the building to sit there with all the funds we put in it, and then it go down? And that's probably where we would be at. And I don't think that would be spending money wisely.
Well, and I think that's where we were several meetings ago, in that it was going to cost us as much to tear the building down as to put this much money in, which is why we agreed to move forward with the $400,000. And personally, I think this is a great project. It is needed. It helps address a barrier to workforce. But my concern is we have already invested $1.5 million in this project, and we have drawn the line in the sand at least 3 times, if not 4. And the price tag keeps going up. But, you know, she's assured us she has the financing, which when this was negotiated to the $400,000, it was going to work. And I believe in this project. I believe in Ms. Johnson, and I still see it being a success. Any other comments? Yes, Mr. Cooper.
Just one final comment. I agree we drew the line, but we drew the line without the bids being in. And we probably did wrong by drawing the line before we got the bids. So I think that should be taken into consideration.
Any final comments? Seeing none, call the question, please.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel?
No.
Councilman Horn?
Aye.
Councilman Colt?
No.
Councilman Cooper?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory?
No.
Mayor Morwolf?
No.
3 ayes, 4 nays, motion fails.
And so that takes us to item 2, which would be to appropriate money and change what we were doing. We do not need that item at this point, correct?
Correct. That was a budget amendment if it was approved.
Okay, so we will move on to item 3, resolution authorizing the City of Decatur to enter into purchase agreement for purchase of a Pierce Enforcer aerial ladder fire apparatus from McQueen Emergency and agreement for debt financing of apparatus.
Motion that the resolution do pass and be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Hahn?
No opening comments for me. I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to Chief Elder. If there are, he can give you an overview, and then just if there are any questions.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Hi, Chief.
Just here to seek approval for this purchase. The biggest issue we need to order this now is it's 48 months potentially to get this truck. And by the time that time extends, which it would be cash on delivery, no payment now, but 48 months down the road, the payment would be due on delivery. So if we don't move now, we just kick the can down the road. Our trucks are good right now, but 4 years from now, it'll be time.
So is this set price, or like if we pay up front, do we get a better deal?
If you paid right now, when you sign the agreement, there is a discount.
Pat?
Chief, what the last one you bought, what was the price compared to this? Which I know everything has gone up.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
$1 million, and that was in 2011.
Any other questions for the chief? Dr. Horn?
Chief, could you just provide the public with some details about what a ladder truck is relative to, let's say, a pumper, and why are they important for a city to have?
That's a good question. So we have engines and trucks, as we call them in the business. An engine carries the hose and pumps the fires. The ladder trucks are where you see all the ladders on top of it, the extending. This one is a specialized one that has a platform, so you can rescue from tall buildings. You can use it to lay hose lines in upper floors of buildings. There's just a lot of reasons, and that's why it's the most expensive piece of apparatus we buy.
And so if I'm recalling correctly, we have 2 ladder trucks here in the city of Decatur. Why does a city like Decatur need 2 ladder trucks?
We have 2 frontline and we have 1 reserve. So the 2 frontline, they are placed strategically in the city to respond to fires, to access upper floors, to just every large municipality has to have trucks that when you have large buildings for ventilation, for rescue.
And so I read your memo, and we're reaching the 25-year lifespan by the time this new truck arrives. So why is it that we can't go 30 years for these trucks? Why do we need to go right to 25 years?
We're going by the recommendations of the NFPA, and when we purchase this new one, it will actually replace the old one that is 2006, I believe. So the current 2011 will go as a reserve. So it will have reached that mark, but we will still be using it. And luckily, we have a fantastic garage out there that knows how to work on Pierce and has kept us up and running all the time.
Any other comments from council?
But there's a limit to what they can do.
There is, yes.
Call the question, please.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel?
Aye.
Councilman Horn?
Aye.
Councilman Colt?
Aye.
Councilman Cooper?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory?
Aye.
Mayor Marwolf?
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays.
And thank you. Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you.
All right. Let us know when that truck comes in. City manager update. Ms. Hahn?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just a couple of items to share with you tonight. One that happened last week, very exciting. Decatur Fire Department was gifted $150,000 by the Howard G. Buffett Foundation, who donated over $2 million to small fire districts and agencies, along with the City of Decatur, the smaller fire districts and agencies that border Macon County. So that was done at the Macon County Board meeting. The next one is that our EV chargers have been installed and are now available. These are level 3 EV chargers, and they are at the Civic Center, the Decatur Public Library, and the Nelson Park Dog Park. And this was 100% grant funded, and they can do full charge in as little as 45 minutes. And then the last one is that we are in the process of transitioning to cashless fare system. The fare validators and kiosks are being installed, and rider cards will be distributed soon. This will allow riders to tap card or mobile device or scan a QR code to pay their fare. Discounts will be connected to the rider card account, and the system will go live early March. We will still be accepting cash for several months during the transition. That's all I have.
Pat?
Ms. Hahn, the Park District gave you that information where those are located, and they said the dog park in Fairview? Is that what you said?
It says, I'm sorry, it says Nelson Park Dog Park.
Oh, okay. Well, they're also in Fairview Park at the Rose Garden, so that's why I question. Okay, thanks.
Sorry, my note says yes, that they're also at Fairview Park.
Ms. Hahn, I did have a question from someone at the Park District. The EV stations, does the city own those, or are they the property of a company, or?
We own them, and then the users will pay a fee to use them.
And if something happens to one of them, is that our responsibility, or?
Yes, we will maintain them.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, thank you for that update, and that takes us to the consent calendar. Does anyone on the council wish to have any items removed from the consent agenda? Dr. Horn?
A, C, and O.
Anybody else? Seeing none?
Item A, resolution authorizing payment to the Decatur Civic Center Authority for operations. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the item you removed. I'll skip that one. Item B, resolution authorizing City of Decatur to enter into agreement with Locality Media, LLC, DBA First Due for Records Management System, RMS services and implementation. Item D, ordinance rezoning property from R5 Two-Family Residence District to B1 Neighborhood Shopping Center District, 543 East Division Street. Item E, resolution authorizing a contract change order with E.L. Pruitt Company for chiller replacement at the Decatur Public Library. Item F, budget amendment ordinance appropriating additional monies for the purpose of defraying the expenses for certain funds of the City of Decatur, Illinois for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, Decatur Public Library. Item G, resolution accepting the bid of Dunn Company for the purchase of bituminous pavement materials. Item H, resolution accepting the bid of Metal Culverts, Inc. for the purchase of corrugated steel pipe. Item I, resolution accepting the bid of Energy Culvert Co. for the purchase of corrugated steel pipe. Item J, resolution accepting the bid of CCI Ready Mix for the purchase of Portland cement concrete. Item K, resolution accepting the bid of Energy Culvert Co. for the purchase of corrugated polyethylene pipe. Item L, resolution accepting the State of Illinois joint purchasing contract holder bid price of Sutton Ford Inc. for the purchase of 4 2026 Ford Explorer Police Interceptor vehicles. Item M, resolution accepting the State of Illinois joint purchasing contract holder bid price of Federal Signal Corporation for the upfit of 4 police vehicles. Item N, resolution accepting the bid of CDS Office Technologies for the purchase of 4 sets of computer equipment for police vehicles. Item P, ordinance amending ordinance number 2023-66, prohibiting the use of groundwater as a potable water supply by the installation of use of potable water supply wells or by any other method within a certain area in the City of Decatur, former Decatur manufactured gas production site, 515 East Main Street. Item Q, resolution rescinding a purchase order with Carbon Activated and authorizing a purchase order with Ingevity for furnishing water treatment carbon for the year 2026 purchase 25-09. Item R, resolution authorizing the 2026 managed support agreement with Concentric Integration, LLC for the South Water Treatment Plant SCADA system. Item S, resolution approving reappointments, Construction and Housing Board of Appeals. Item T, resolution approving appointments, Construction and Housing Board of Appeals. Item U, receiving and filing of minutes of boards and commissions. I need a motion to approve the items as presented. So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Cruz.
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel.
Aye.
Councilman Horn.
Aye.
Councilman Colt.
Aye.
Councilman Cooper.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory.
Aye.
Mayor Morwolf.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. And we will move on to the ordinance adding territory to enterprise zone and approving the amendment of the enacting ordinance and intergovernmental agreement, Mount Zion Community Drive redevelopment. Motion that the ordinance do pass and be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Horn? I think we skipped item A.
We
but-
did. I don't mind
But we can
asking
come,
about C if
Okay.
we
yeah,
go back to A.
let's go C to A.
In regards to item C regarding the enterprise zone, I just wanted to confirm that is for a new housing development in Mount Zion, is that correct? That's what was reported in the Herald and Review, so just want to confirm that fact.
Yes, and we
That is
actually have
correct.
Nicole Bateman from Economic Development Council here as well, if you have additional questions.
In looking at the community revitalization plan for the city of Decatur, the draft plan, it talks about Milliken Heights and having a housing development there. Is that particular area also in an enterprise zone?
Nicole, could you come down to the podium, please?
Good evening, Councilman Horn. That part that you are referring to currently is not in the enterprise zone, but it can be added. So boundary amendments allow us to add parcels into the zone if we feel that they would meet the minimum requirements for multifamily residential as outlined in the enterprise zone guidebook.
I'd just make the suggestion that if the RFP for the new housing development at Milliken Heights meets the requirements for being included in the enterprise zone, that seems like that would be an important tool that might attract additional investment into that area.
Yeah, definitely open to that. Yep.
Thank you, Ms. Bateman. Any further questions on this item? Seeing none?
Councilwoman Cruz?
Nay.
Councilman McDaniel?
Aye.
Councilman Horn?
Aye.
Councilman Colt?
Aye.
Councilman Cooper?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory?
Aye.
Mayor Moore Wolf?
Aye.
6 ayes, 1 nay. Resolution authorizing payment to the Decatur Civic Center Authority for operations and other services is provided to the City of Decatur by the Civic Center Authority. Motion that the resolution do pass and be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Horn?
I just noticed that it would be nearly $900,000 for the services being provided. Has the city ever looked at whether there are alternatives to this particular service and whether those alternatives may be less expensive?
Yes, we have initiated meetings with the Civic Center to discuss the services that we're currently receiving and the cost of those services. So we are in discussions.
Okay. And is this for a one-year contract?
This is to allow us to pay them for this year.
Any other questions? Seeing none?
Councilwoman Cruz?
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel?
Aye.
Councilman Horn?
Aye.
Councilman Colt?
Aye.
Councilman Cooper?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory?
Aye.
Mayor Moore Wolf?
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Resolution authorizing a professional services agreement with Antera Inc. for drought support. Motion that the resolution do pass and be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Horn?
Well, first of all, I just want to say the city is to be commended for preemptively using alternative water supply sources to slow the rate of decline of the lake level. But with that, I did have a couple of questions about the proposal for Antera. The services are to include evaluating short-term water supply solutions. And I guess my question is, what does that mean? Because we're currently using the DeWitt County well fields, we're currently using the Cisco well, we're using water from the Vulcan Pit in Decatur, ADM is reactivating its wells. What are the other short-term water supply solutions that we're looking into?
Well, back in, Mayor, members of council, back in 1988, when we had a drought there, we tapped into the Lake Tocolazawa, or Charlie Rhodes, I guess as it's known. We I think withdrew at that time for 90 days, 10 million gallons of water a day for that. There is that, but then there are certainly asking our industries and residents to cut back on water usage, which which would be stepping industries back at 5%, 30%, or ending their use of city water. So there are a lot of unknowns. Now, going into this, the city has always gotten rain in the spring. If you look at the drought map that we have on our website, we have always come out of droughts in the March, April, May timeframe. And since none of this current city staff has had to work through a drought, we would benefit from professional assistance to help us make decisions and work with industry and answer their questions, answer questions of the council or the residents of the city, and how we manage the lake. And then moving forward, how best to work with the industries to come up maybe with a better plan to help. To me, there's a lot of indecision, and we're making a lot of guesses, and we're putting a lot of hope and faith and prayer in rain and events that have not occurred yet. So we would benefit from assistance and from a better plan, I believe.
The third objective here is to evaluate the effectiveness of and the need for mandatory water use restrictions, and received a lot of feedback, particularly from residents who are concerned of the heavy use of water by industry and concerned about whether the residents will have drinking water for their day-to-day lives. Do you have a sense for, the types of restrictions that you're thinking about at this point in time, and can you provide some assurance that stopping the sink from dispensing water at someone's home is a last resort?
Yeah, I mean, we can publish a lot of that. I guess I can't just regurgitate it in front, off the top of my head. But yeah, we can review the plan and put it on the website.
Councilman McDaniel.
Can you tell me how many water mains we've fixed in this cold weather? Because when I
last it was exceeding 30. Was last.
Because I see a lot of, again, our aging infrastructure, which we all know, not just here, it's everywhere. So we've cut back on our budget. We all agreed with that, made cuts in all the different departments. So that gives you less money to use to fix the water mains. That will, if you can fix the water mains, then we don't have leaks and things like that. So there's little things that we can do. But when you cut back on things, we're going to pay the penalty, and the residents of the community will, because it's going to cost more down the road to fix them. So I thank you, because I've been seeing a lot of the Decatur city crews out fixing these broken water mains. Thanks.
And I would encourage people to pray harder, because we need that rain, and we need a lot of it for many, many days. Dr. Horn?
Just to confirm, the city of Decatur is repairing leaking water mains. Is that correct?
We are.
Okay. We haven't cut back on repairing leaks to water mains.
That's not what I was getting at.
They have a way of making themselves very attention-grabbing if we do not.
I think what Pat was talking about was proactively trying to do as much as we can to keep the water mains from getting to that point.
We do, and we do that as well.
Ms. Cruz?
Do you see an increase in nitrates as the drought increases?
Usually the nitrate issue rears its head in the spring and early summer when we have rain falling and we have runoff off of fields that have nitrates in them, and so right now, no, we are not experiencing nitrate issues.
Further questions?
That sounds like a catch-22. We want the rain, but then it brings other problems.
Then we'll fix the problems. Call the question, please.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel?
Aye.
Councilman Horn?
Aye.
Councilman Colt?
Aye.
Councilman Cooper?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory?
Aye.
Mayor Marwolf?
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays.
Moving into other business, I did want to show that the Decatur Bean Ballers is our new baseball team that will be starting in May. They will be playing at Milliken, and it's very exciting for our community, and it's going to be a fun, affordable, great tourism attraction, and so we're very excited. I have my first shirt. It's very exciting. The logo was unveiled as well as the name today, so you can look online at beanballers.com for tickets. Does anyone else have other business? Pat?
Can I go back, Ms. Hahn, to ask her a question?
Sure.
On the EV chargers, our agreement is, even if they're in the Park District, we're responsible for fixing them?
Yes, I believe we are responsible for maintenance of them.
Not happy about that.
Yeah, Ms. Cruz?
Back to the garbage. I've seen other cities have large dumpsters, like annually or something like that. Like the neighborhood groups will organize it, and it's just on the street in the neighborhood, and then people can dump things. Have you ever done anything like that?
We have.
Is that something we could look into possibly doing this year?
We've done it for years. Is there anything in the budget this year for it? We've used to do it every year, and it has helped.
Well, we've done the ones where people bring stuff to the Civic Center with long lines, and I believe we've also done some in various neighborhoods. We can't afford to do it in every neighborhood, every year, but I don't know if there's a plan for this year or not.
Yeah, and I am not sure also if it's in the budget for this year, but I can get an update from staff on that and get it sent out to council. But I know that we have done it in the past.
Thank you.
Councilman Culp.
Just two quick things. One, Decatur Fire's here. I want to congratulate them on the swift rescue today, and please pass that on to your staff. Second one is I've seen on the lake management team is putting out on Facebook, and I think it's a great idea why the lake level is low. We're seeing a lot of debris up near the docks and the bank that people are pulling out and bringing up to the road and calling for pickup and so forth. But we've got elderly residents that are seeing this stuff that can't safely get down there to pull this stuff out. And I'm hoping that we can encourage them to call in, but maybe make it more shareable. Even on Facebook, you can't share the information, and people are questioning things, and maybe we could put it out. I know we have dock addresses, maybe put out a flyer to the dock owners that we're looking to clean that up safely and take advantage of the little lake.
Any further business? Call for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel?
Aye.
Councilman Horn?
Aye.
Councilman Colt?
Aye.
Councilman Cooper?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory?
Aye.
Mayor Morwolf?
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. We're adjourned.